All right, it's Wednesday and noonish, so that must mean it's time for Teach Your Business to Fish. This is Michael Rage, your business guide, and we're going to have a little fun today talking business. You know, today I got a really interesting guest. I got a guy, Michael Mallon, with Storyteller Promotions. He's got a great story, and I figured since, we're going Storyteller Promotions, stories, we'll just talk stories the whole time. And part of the reason is because, as fishermen, all we do is lie anyways. It's all about fishing stories. Fishing stories are the best things and out there. You should be hearing, you should have been here yesterday, or the one that got away. It's the things that we do. But stories, when it comes to your business, are very, very important. Those of you that saw my very first podcast, I had my son out there, and he's sitting out there in the green room eating lunch right now, and just not paying attention to dad at all. But one of the things that I did is I read him a story every week, and so I did not bring a fishing mag in this week. I brought in a book by Dr. Seuss, "Oh, the Places You Will Go," and the reason I brought this in is for business owners. This is the best book about business I think ever written, because it's about things that are going to happen in life, and this COVID stuff we're going through is part of it as well. There's things that we can't handle, or that we don't know that's going to happen, that are going to happen in our life, and we just have to figure them out. And how do we keep going? And that's what it's about. It's all about moving forward and keep doing something new. Those of you guys, that are paying attention to me. There's, I think, like 2 girls in the whole audience that pay attention to me. I'm getting a little thinner, and that's because I think it's just like the book says, I'm doing something, and I'm being consistent. And everything about running a business is about being consistent and doing the same thing and doing what you're supposed to do when you do it and how you do it. As actually, when I was sitting out in the green room before this and I was talking to Mike, we were talking about some opportunities, and he looked at me and he goes, "So, does it meet what you're trying to do?" And I'm like, "Well, not really." And he goes, "Okay, then don't do it." And it's just the same things that I would ask as a coach. And that's why I like having guys, like Michael on, because, the stories he's going to tell is it's not only business, but his life, his background from New York and his time in the military and his time as a police officer. It's going to be very interesting, the stories we tell. It's kind of every time we get together anyways, there's generally a laugh or two. There's something in there that's funny, and that's what it's all about, is just having a good time, and that's where we want to go. So we need to look at, and I want to push a little bit today on the stories of our business and who we are. There's a guy in Pearland. Well, he's from Pearland originally. Cameron, what's his name? Miller. Donald Miller tells story branding. I was on Facebook this morning, and somebody was talking about, hey, my husband's building my website and this. And I'm like, great. Hey, you're a startup, you need to save. But go look up some of these experts like Donald on story branding. And I think Mike will be able to push on this a little bit. It's all about telling the story of how you as the customer make your client the hero. You as the business owner are not supposed to be the hero. Your job is to make your client the hero. It's to make them become Luke Skywalker and you're Obi-Wan Kenobi in the background. That's what makes you a good company, is you're kind of always in the background. You're doing the right things. You're doing the right things all the time. You're helping to get results. And those are the things that you need to be doing. And that's how we look at it. And so we look at these things. So I know Cameron and I, we went to it was pre-COVID. I think it was sometime around Christmas. We went to this conference, and Donald was talking, and he was talking the elections and all this stuff, talking politics. And, I don't care which side of the fence you're on, whatever. All I care is you go vote. But he said one of the things that the Trump campaign was doing a lot better than the Dems is they actually had a rallying point, the Make America Great. It brought people together, whether you believe it or not. It was a really rallying point, and the Democrats had nothing, and they still don't have anything. So we've got to get into story, and that's where we need to go. I've got a new client. She's out in San Antonio, and she helps. We're pivoting our business a little bit. She's an organizer, but she really wants to specialize in helping people that are downsizing. So senior citizens that are going to sell that house where they raised their family, and how do they downsize and keep all those memories? There's a story to tell there. And I think that's really when we cover this with Mike today, that's what it's all about, is storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. And the more we tell a story, we show empathy, we can understand where our clients are and why they're there. We understand the issues they're having. We understand that they're having problems solving those issues, and they just need someone to help them along. And that's what it's all about. So you need to get out there and look at it. I know when you're looking today, I preach a lot that I interact a lot on Facebook, and I get into a lot of Facebook groups. And it's so funny, see a lot, and I saw it a few times this morning. Hey, I'm starting a new business. I'm doing this. What should I do? And people are like, oh, you need to build a website. You need to get business cards. You need a brand. I go, tell a story. Tell a story about what you do and how you help somebody. But you got to understand who it is. And I think that was just, sitting out in the green room. That's what that's what Mike told me right there. Who's your client? Who are you trying to target? And what you're trying to do, does it help them? If not, don't do it. Don't do it. And that's where we need to go, is we need to look at these things so we understand exactly what we're trying to do. So I'm going to give this shameless plug, this nice shirt that I have on. You can't see Mike's work because it's on the back. When you see me there, you get my little Teach Your Business to Fish logo. Mike makes sure I look good when I'm out. He and his wife, Ruth, if you're in the Heights Memorial area and you network and you haven't met Mike and Ruth Mellon, I don't think you're going anywhere, because you've never been anywhere, because it's hard not to meet them. They're two of the friendliest people that you ever want to meet, and they really want to help. And that's what it's all about, is business owners helping business owners. So I think, Jonathan, we're coming up. I know my buzzer's going. Are we about ready to take this one out? So let's get out there. We're going to get Mike in here. We're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about stories today and how it's going to grow your business, and it's going to how to help you catch more fish.
Hi, I'm Mike Mogel, the CEO of Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. A clean and disinfected space is essential to keeping your customers and your staff healthy, safe, and productive while preventing the spread of COVID-19. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with more than 20 years experience in janitorial, restaurant, post-construction, and floor maintenance cleaning. We really make it shine. We are focused on quality cleaning and wellness in our customer spaces. Our team is professionally trained to ensure not a spot is missed, and we use products that are safe for your property and your people. Our services are tailored to your individual needs and include expert floor care, dusting, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, detailing, glass cleaning, and deep disinfecting. Our experienced team is here to make your office as comfortable and clean as possible. Visit our website at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or call us today at 832-689-7996. Now that's a clean sweep.
Are you looking for a full-service company that can handle everything from a new roof installation, restoration, and maintenance with all the experience that comes from nearly 50 years of business? Joe Ochoa Roofing specializes in inspections, roof repairs, new roof installations, gutters, siding, windows, and even more. Damage on your roof can sometimes take up to 1 year or more to show up. Joe Ochoa Roofing gives you the peace of mind you need to ensure your home and family are well protected from weather elements. Joe Ochoa Roofing offers the best quality workmanship with an accredited business since 1996 by the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. We also have financing available with no interest and no payments for 12 months. So don't delay and call us to get a quote at 281-890-0000 or visit our website at www.ochoaroofing.com for more information.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
All right, I'm back. This is Michael Rager, your business guide. We teach your business to fish, and I've got my good friend Mike Mallon. Mike, how you doing today?
Outstanding, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. It was kind of a little bit of a last minute. We had something I was trying to, I had Mike to try to get him on in September-ish, and he didn't even know that yet. But I'm like, something went with somebody was supposed to have on today, and I picked up the phone and said, "Hey, dude, what are you doing tomorrow?" And
Glad I could be here.
He said, "Let's go on." So, Mike, let's talk about your background. All right, you didn't start off as a business owner.
No.
Now, did you have actually any intention of becoming a business owner one day?
No, it was my wife who told me that she saw me on a golf course making business deals. That's how she envisioned me when we first met.
And what were you doing then?
I was in between law enforcement careers. I had left New York, moved down to Austin, and was looking for the next police department. Mm-hmm. And I met Ruth. I was working as a store detective, loss prevention agent, and she worked in the shoe store next door. And I saw her come in one day, and my heart dropped down to up to my throat, that back down, and that's how we met, and we've been together ever since. It's over 35 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, I know. It's seeing you guys out. You're seeing the purple shirts. Yep. I mean, you guys brand yourself very, very well. Let's go back in your career. I mean, you were you were a Marine.
Yes, sir.
Law enforcement. You've done a lot to help people. And what was that like?
Very fulfilling. I loved what I did. I identified myself by what I did. Okay. To a large extent. I always said that being in public safety or law enforcement, it's not something you do; it's something you are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a deep-seated need to help and serve and protect. And very fulfilling. I loved it.
Yeah, my dad was. My dad was a police officer. We've had those of you that watch this show know there's a very deep-seated thread that we all smoke cigars. And so Mike and I have had the pleasure of smoking a few cigars and drinking a few whiskeys at a time and telling some interesting stories. How much different? I mean, how was a big change going from being a law enforcement officer to you actually went to Disney?
Yes.
And you did some stuff with Disney. How was that change, and how did that change you?
So probably one of the things that most people don't understand about being a professional police officer is that you spend the large majority of your day responding to people's issues and quite often talking them into doing things that they wouldn't have thought of doing on their own, or that they don't want to do because you want a peaceful resolution. You don't want to get into, you can't fight everybody, right? You don't want to fight everybody.
No, you don't want to fight anybody. There's some big guys out there.
But it was when I got out of full-time law enforcement and went to the corporate security world. Mm-hmm. I was given the charge of growing a security firm. Okay. And I knew that to differentiate ourselves in some way to compete, I would need to do that on service. So I sought out the Disney Institute. I had read about it and heard about it, and started with the leadership class, and then went back for a quality service class and keys to Disney excellence. Some of the best education I've ever had in my life.
How does it? I mean, you go back to doing what you do right now as storytellers and the promotion side. It's communication in a different form.
Correct.
You say it as being a police officer, it's all about communication.
Absolutely.
The better communicator you are, the easier it is to bring down a situation. And then when you go to Disney, now all of a sudden it's leadership and quality. And how long did it take when they started bringing in communication?
From the very beginning.
It was the very
beginning?
From
the very beginning. Okay. It's all about communicating with your people. They use the word your guest or your cast member. But again, it's all about communicating with people in the right way, understanding what it is they need, want, and expect from you.
Well, that's it. As a business owner, if you don't understand what people need, want, and expect, there's no way you can deliver.
No. There's no way you can exceed the expectations either.
No, exactly. And that's what we want to do is we want to exceed expectations, meeting expectations. I think one of the issues I see with people in the U.S. right now is everybody's happy being average. And we see a lot of people, hey, look, just the good old average American. And I said that's what gets us in trouble. We used to strive, really push for excellence. And, I want to be the greatest and everything. And I think that's something we need to see. And where do you see companies struggling that way with not looking for excellence?
I think the largest majority of it comes from marginalization. Because average became acceptable, they don't try to go beyond that.
Yeah.
As consumers, as customers, I think we have to demand that of the people that service our needs. We have to demand that exceptional service. And if you're not receiving it, then you go someplace else that you're getting that.
Yeah, and I think most people are willing to pay for it.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're in COVID right now. We got this stuff going on. I see this all the time when people come up to me and say, Mike, I need to be the cheapest. I need to be this. And I'm like, no, you don't.
There's a funny thing I've heard a long time ago is those that are chasing price are racing to the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if you're setting up your company that way, you're screwed right from the beginning. And that's what you need to look at, because I know when you guys are going out and you're looking at giving products and service. I mean, your big deal. We'll get into what your company does here in this next segment. But with what you do, you're not looking to bring cheap crap to your customers.
No. As a matter of fact, we typically avoid it because it's not something you want to put your brand on. When you put your brand on something that's inexpensive, it's typically fragile. It's inefficient. It doesn't work well. And that says something about your brand. You don't want that. It's worth it to spend a little bit extra on smaller quantity items than to spend a lot on.
Yeah, I got a company I used to do some side hustle for. They were a cigar company, and we used to do cigar events. And they gave us these cigar cutters, and they were cheap as hell. We'd go to cut, and they'd break. And we were doing an event at Porsche. So you know who was there. And I was having people, that were, hey, I walked away and went to cut my cigar and the thing broke and you got this razor blade falling out. And it's like, oh my God.
Right.
And I'm calling the owner and I'm talking to him. I said, man, we can't give this crap out.
Right.
He goes, well, I've got 1,000 of them. We got to do something. I'm like, throw them in the trash.
You might as well.
Take $1,000 loss. And if we're going to do this, give something better.
Absolutely.
And he got mad and and it's funny, and you know me, I told him what I thought.
I don't doubt it.
And you don't doubt that at all. But that's where we need to go. So it's exuding quality. And when you were at Disney, and what they told you, I mean, how do they set their standards, and how did you take that over to your company?
When you're dealing with your team members or your cast members or building a company, their biggest thing was know what your purpose is. Now, they call it a service theme, or they have their own language for things, but essentially it's know what your purpose is.
Right.
Make sure everybody on your team knows what the purpose is. Make sure they're there and they want to do that purpose or fulfill that purpose. If they don't, they can't be there.
Right.
Nice as they are, love you to death, but you can't be here because it's not your thing. There's things for everybody to go do. Go do it.
It's so important. I mean, you work with your family.
Yes.
Your wife works with you. Your kids work with you. It's a family affair. So it's making sure everybody loves what they do.
You have to.
And being around, or there's no reason to even do it. And there's so many things I see with people, like right now they're looking to hire, and they're going out there looking to hire, and oh my God, I can't find this. I'm like, look, you've got to. You just can't settle.
No. There's an old adage we used to use. We called it the shoestring theory. It really comes out of the Marine Corps. When you come in here, you have to tie your shoes.
Right.
And these are the reasons we tie our shoes. If the next day they come in, they don't tie their shoes, all right, we review it. This is why we tie our shoes. Now show me you can tie your shoes. I'm going to show you how to do it. If they come in the third day and the shoes aren't tied, what'd they just tell you? They don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
Got to go.
Got to go. Yep. You've got to. It's so interesting. And, trying to fit square pegs in the round holes. And I take it, I think you've probably read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Absolutely.
And putting people on the bus. And that's the whole thing is a lot of time you've got people in an organization. They just may be in the wrong seat.
Absolutely.
And you're trying to force them to sit there and it doesn't work.
Right.
And a lot of times I found in the past is when I've had to let people go is they didn't want to be there anyways. They were there because they thought they were being loyal to you and they were doing these other things. And a lot of times when you find you get people out of your organization and get moving the right way, it really helps. So what do we got now? We got 2 minutes, Jonathan. Ish. Yeah, he's giving me the ish. Let's go into break. And I want you to think of one lesson that you really learned. Let's go pre-business.
Okay.
Has really served you in business.
Okay.
What is it?
Probably never give up. And that comes from my training in the Marine Corps when I went to the reconnaissance units, recon indoctrination program.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hellish 12 weeks where they test every measure of who you are as a person and what your resolve is to keep going when you no longer think you can.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're way more capable than you think you are in most cases. That was something that took me through the rest of my life.
Because that happens right now in business. How many people right now are just wanting to give up because of what's going on?
I know of several that are just because they've had it. They're done.
They're done, and there's so many opportunities out there right now. That's the funny thing is every time that there's something, a disaster happens that leads to opportunity. And if you really think and you look at pivoting and changing the way you do business, you can serve that opportunity. And that's one of the things we need to look at. So, okay, Jonathan, we're gonna send it out right now. You want me to go a little bit? Okay, I'll close it up. Yeah. So we're. He gives me the cues. He doesn't know it. Yeah, he looks like yeah, there we go. We got
sign language.
Juan back there looking like Richard Nixon giving us the big peace signs back there. Say, get out of here. So let's go out there. We're going to go there. We're going to hear from our sponsors. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Storytellers Promotions and exactly what they do and how they make their customers better. So this is Mike Rager with Teach Your Business Fish, your business guide. We'll be back in just a minute.
Our nation is being seriously affected, not only emotionally, but also clinically. Parents or guardians dealing with a teenager in crisis that require transport to an appropriate treatment facility makes that decision even more difficult. My Armor Services Transport is here to help. Their agents are personal protection officers and private investigators, state certified and trained to accommodate firm boundaries and de-escalations, all while recognizing your loved one's sense of individuality and dignity. Most times your loved one will not respond favorably to being placed in a treatment program. Positive and safe transportation assistance becomes critical when violent or defiant behavior to a placement is anticipated. My Armor Services Transport understands this is a difficult time for you and your family. They are committed to transporting your loved one with dignity, respect, securely, and with compassion. Let them assist with this heavy burden. Call today at 1-800-341-0919 and let My Armor Services Transport be the first strong step you take toward resolving this difficult and complicated issue. Graphic design, banners, brochures, business cards, posters, any printing you need for your company's branding, Priority Printing SS is your solution. With more than 30 years of experience, Priority Printing SS has been the preferred solution for hundreds of companies for any printed materials. At Priority Printing SS, they believe in listening to you, bringing you creative ideas to effective results. Your printed materials talk about your company. Make sure they open the door for you. Trust your printed materials to the experts. Call Priority Printing SS at 713-575-9800 and let Priority Printing SS handle with ease all your printing needs. COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
All right, we're back. This is Michael Rager with Teach Your Business to Fish. We got Michael Mallon, Storyteller Promotions. All right, we talked a little bit about your background. Let's talk about Storyteller. What the hell you do?
So the concept behind Storyteller Promotions is that every brand has a story behind it. Mm-hmm. And it was our vision to figure out how to use product, apparel, design, event management to help companies, small or large, tell their story. Mm-hmm. We were fortunate enough that we had unique talents within the company, within the family, that allowed us to do that from the very get-go. Ruth has got an extensive background with Marriott, mm-hmm. event management and that type of thing. My youngest son, Matthew, was a graphic designer mm-hmm. by trade and talent, and my oldest son was the guy that could tinker with things. His character name in our family was Wally. Mm-hmm. And he just, so we made it happen.
No, it's awesome, because when you go to email these guys, they all have character names. You're not getting Mike at Storyteller Promotions. No. You notice today, every time you see him, he's got his coffee cup, he's got everything here. It's purple. It's got everything about it. I mean, you guys are all about the brand and the story, and it's really good. You've helped me with the fishing shirts and stuff like that, and I appreciate the hell out of it. But one of the things that I love is, and I tell a lot of my clients to do this, marketing's hard.
Very hard.
Marketing's very hard, and what products do I give away? When do I do it? How do I do it? A lot of people just aimlessly buy crap and go give it out. But I think one of the things that I remember when we first met, you guys were doing a lot of promotion. You guys were doing a lot of events. And events is a really good way to push your business. Why do you see it such a good way? And I'll give you why I think.
Events are natural simply because you're set up so that people are coming to you. Your audience is already coming to you. Mm-hmm. Where we differentiate a little bit in the psychology is we do not profess the idea of giving things away. Mm-hmm. When you do that, you tend to drive your budget down because you have to be prepared. Yeah. We had a lady call up and said she was going to a conference, needed 10,000 pens. So why, are you going to talk to all 10,000 people? She said, no. So, well, then don't give away 10,000 pens. Instead, we counsel people to buy smaller quantities of items, qualify the individual that's coming to talk to you, that wants to follow up with you, mm-hmm. and then give them a thank you gift for that.
Yeah. The event I like is just like you said, I can control who's coming. I can invite the right people, and I can bring them in. And like you said, they're coming to me. Mm-hmm. Whether they're coming to me just because I'm doing happy hour or I'm doing something, they're coming to me, and there's a desire for them to talk to me.
Sure.
Because they're coming.
It's natural. And the beauty is, too, everybody else in the room is there for the same reason.
Yeah.
So there's an automatic connection.
Yeah. And we got to get there. And if we do it right, we've got all the right people that can really help these people. And I'm a big fan of joint venturing and finding other people that are in your niche. You don't need a market for everybody. If you get 4 or 5 companies that do the same thing and work in the same industry or the same
verticals,
the same vertical, same character, they're looking for the same character. You guys can go do things together. Absolutely. And really increase what you're doing, because you'll meet people that, I can bring people to events that you don't know. You're going to bring people to events that I don't know, because I get sick of going to the same events with everybody that I know. And there's some of them, there's only so many people I like drinking beer with. They annoy me pretty
we won't make a list on here.
Yeah, we've been to the same ones. And they come walking up, like, hey, how you doing? I'm going to sneak out to the back end. But when you get to, like, with you guys, with the promotion and promotional items, how should a company start looking at what to give, when to give it? How do I budget it? How should they start looking at that?
So the one thing that we profess is branding starts from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And it's as simple as picking the color, finding the materials that constitute the story behind the brand, mm-hmm. picking the right images. Mm-hmm. It could be as simple as getting a name badge. Mm-hmm. But you have to start it from the very beginning.
Right.
Understand who you are, what you're trying to do, and who your target audience is. Otherwise, you're going to waste a tremendous amount of time and resources trying to find things for a mass number of people, and that's just a waste of money. One of the things that we built our company on was the concept of stewardship. Mm-hmm. That's our primary value. Mm-hmm. I have to be as good a steward of your brand and your finances as I will of my own. So therefore, there's times when I will tell clients, I will not put your brand on that because it says the wrong thing about who you are. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to buy this because you don't need that.
Yeah.
Go to this.
Well, that's what they need is people think they know what they need because, their uncle's brother's cousin told them that they got it somewhere. Mm-hmm. And they end up with, we go to these things and how many pens do we have with other companies' names on it? How many? I don't like your cup there. I don't know how many of those stupid cups I have. And the only one I want is the one with my company name on it. I don't want to be carrying around somebody else's.
No, you're not going to be carrying around mine.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. No. I want people to know it's mine and what I stand for. And I keep going. I remember it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Everybody was giving out Arctic and cups. And
it was the height item.
Yeah, it was. Let's go do it, and let's make it happen. But it just doesn't seem to make sense.
And it never made any sense to me either that you were putting your brand on a cup that had somebody else's brand on it.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Have your own cup. You don't need somebody else's brand. You're not sharing space here.
I know. It's funny. There's a company right now I'm talking to. They're in the vodka space. And we were talking to him the other day, and he goes, Mike, you can have your own vodka if you want. And I'm like, oh, really?
Does that fit? Bad idea.
Does that fit? I may have to go run. But, because, you and I travel a lot of the same circles.
Absolutely,
Pre-COVID, we see each other at a lot of events. And, I look at when I'm going to do stuff for me, because people know me, I'll have cigar events. And so I'll have cigars. The last couple I haven't had with my own bands on them. But it's a nice little touch, to go out. I know that people don't want to carry Teach Your Business to Fish stuff on it.
No.
But I do get a lot of people hey, I really like that shirt or I like that hat. So, I'm going to go spend a little bit more money on some of those things that, I got people, hey, I'd love to rep your brand when I go fishing or when I go do this. Hey, great. I'm going to look at selling some of that stuff one day. I'm not going to buy it and give it away. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
So when does it make sense for a company to start saying, okay, I've got stuff that people say they want. How should I start looking at it? When should they start looking at it?
2 things I would suggest. First of all, make sure you're making enough money on your own. Mm-hmm. We typically counsel that once you're at a place where you can start to afford thank you gifts or client gifts, you look at probably a 1% of total value of that client. Mm-hmm. And that should be it's a good spending point. Mm-hmm. Then look at who that client is, where are they when they will think about you, and then what is it you want to put in their hands at that particular moment to make them go, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in your particular case, one of the things that people never understand about this business is a formula we call cost per impression. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes for the pen because it's cheap, it's inexpensive, but it has the highest cost per impression because it goes into somebody's pocket if it's a nice one, or it goes into a drawer in a junk drawer in the kitchen, and it stays there forever. So you spent this money, it went to a drawer, nobody's ever going to see it again.
Yep.
One of the best things you can do, especially somebody like you, is some type of a gym bag or a utility sack for these guys that are going fishing, the outdoorsmen.
Yep.
If it's a good bag, they'll keep that.
Yeah, yeah.
And thousands of people will see that.
Yeah, I've got when I travel, I've got a pretty nice backpack that I use that actually my computer backpack has my company logo on it, stuff like that. It'd be really great to. That's a pretty nice gift idea. I have to look at those. Those are pretty nice because I've got a couple. Those of you guys that don't know, I do help companies put together trips to go away, and we do training and we teach, and that'd be a great gift. I put one together the other day, and we're costing it was $12,000. So 12 guys. What am I going to spend on a backpack? $50-$60 a person.
About that?
Yeah. So it's got my name
It's
on
a
it. This is
no-brainer.
part of this is their welcome bag. Here it is. Boom. Now you're going to take it wherever you go.
Absolutely.
And, love it. But that's what you got to do. Is you got to think about. You got to think this shit through.
The amazing part about this business when we got into it was a total happy accident. We really didn't know what we were going to do. We knew we wanted to work together. Ruth and I had talked about it for years because 12, 14 hours a day, you're giving your best of yourself to somebody else. And we had gone to see the movie Up, and that's how we came up with the soda cap and the purple. Is all our inspiration from that movie was to go into business. And we stumbled across this promotional products guy and started talking to him. And we had both bought promotional materials and apparel in our other life, never realizing that there was somebody like us out there that could counsel you on what to buy, as opposed to just going online and going, yeah, that looks good and it fits my budget.
Yeah, it cracks me up when I go to a lot of networking events and I see the promotional product person, and it's like, God, they have no clue. They don't even have a clue. So it's when you find somebody like you guys that know what you're doing, it makes it way more valuable because you've got to look at the overall strategy and you do it. You just don't go sell pens because somebody wants pens,
Right.
And that's where you guys add value and, going from there. So how do you, let's say I'm coming to you or I'm a new business owner and I need to do something. How do you, I'll even pick an industry. I'll say I'm a CPA. I'm starting my CPA firm. Here's what I'm going to do. I come to Storyteller. How's the process go from me walking in your door to me walking out a happy customer?
Okay, so I'll assume that you're brand new, you're starting off, you're talented, you're starting your own company for the first time.
Yep.
What is your brand? What is your logo? What is the story behind why you want to be a CPA?
Mm-hmm.
How do we communicate that into that logo, into the design, so that when you look at that, it's a reminder to not only you but everybody in your circle that this is you and this is why you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to ask you about who is your ideal client, who's your target audience, and then how do we begin to appeal to that individual so that when you give them something, whether it's to thank them or just to introduce yourself, whether it's a leave behind, what is it we can give to them so that they automatically think of you when they need you?
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. If they're not going to think of you, then there's no sense giving it to them.
Right.
Your CPA, you give them a ruler, it's going to go in a drawer someplace, and they're going to forget all about it. If you've got clients that are technologically advanced, maybe it's a stylist.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something travel related where they're using their phones a lot, battery packs, things that they need and are going to use continuously.
Yeah, it's just like you said, is I find it so often. I'll go in and ask somebody, I'll meet them out. Hey, who's your perfect client? What do you do? Oh, I service everybody.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
There was a really nice lady today on a Facebook group, and she goes, we move packages everywhere, and we'll move anything. And my response is, you're not FedEx.
Right.
What do you do, and what do you do it well that other people can't get from FedEx?
Well, and you can't take care of everybody, no matter how hard you try. One of the things I learned from Disney and Marriott, because Ruth and I swear to God, Walt Disney and Bill Marriott must have had coffee together at some point because they are so similar in how they do things. they're probably the few companies I've seen where they cater to a large audience, but they're very specific about how they cater to the individuals within that large audience.
Mm-hmm.
The customer that comes in and goes to the Grand Floridian Resort in Disney World is not the same guy that goes to the Fort Wilderness Campground.
Yeah.
And there's different expectations at every level along that way. You can build a company that does that, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
It's the whole thing is, how do I get the most effective and get ROI out of everything that I do? And, people don't look at it. They're not looking at return on investment. They're not looking at how I grow my company. I'm not looking at, my gross profit margins. They're not looking at this stuff. And they spend a lot of useless time and energy and money on stuff that does not bring them anything back.
Well, go back to the E-Myth, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people that go into business are a technician? They really know. He's an auto mechanic. He knows how to do it really well. He's fantastic. Everybody that comes to him loves him. Well, I can open my own shop. I don't have to do this with somebody else. But he doesn't know how to do the business side of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good mechanic, and there's nothing wrong with that. But trying to wear all those different hats.
No, and that's where occasionally I come in and I get people that want to sit down and we've got to work on this and figure it out. And that's the thing that they've got to look at. When you go back to E-Myth, if you guys haven't read it, don't read the E-Myth. Read the E-Myth Revisited, because E-Myth is like this thick, and Revisited is like that thick, and it summarizes everything. And I don't want to sit there and read it all. They're both, but it's really great on how you go there. And so, what's something new that you've read, or something new that you've been looking at to grow your business? Something that's helping you kind of step into the next level.
I haven't read in probably about 3 months. I was reading diligently almost every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last 3 months with this COVID stuff, I just wanted to, we're focusing on business all the time. So all my reading now has been for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But I, believe it or not, I'm a huge fan of The Godfather.
Okay.
I think it is one of the greatest movies or series that's designed for business.
Mm-hmm.
There's many business lessons that come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been a good one. Probably my favorite so far, I just finished reading a book about General Mattis.
Okay.
I had a chance to serve with him very briefly when I was a young Marine. And it was Call Sign Chaos. And it's, again, leadership book and learning some of the things, how he thought. Mm-hmm. And it helps.
It's funny is, a lot of business comes to leadership and it comes back to it. And, I've trained with John Maxwell and I've done this stuff and I do a lot of stuff. But here's what I've found. I talk to other coaches. And I coach a lot of my business owners on leadership, on becoming a better leader. But the thing is they're not going to bed at night wishing they were a better leader. They're going to bed wishing, God, I need to make more money. My wife's pissed I'm not home.
Right.
That's the hot button.
What the leadership big books have taught me to step out of the technician side of myself and to find a place to think like that visionary leader. Mm-hmm. That was the one thing that my family told me was, that was kind of the role I fell into. I was the one who was looking further down. And I stopped doing that for a while because I got right in the middle of everything. And by jumping back into the leadership books, I changed my perspective again. And I stepped back out. So it gives me that chance. I'm not focusing on the leadership styles or the principles. I'm looking at it from that person's perspective and looking at my own situations.
Yeah, I know. I promote my friend Cameron Harold a lot on here. He had a great TED Talk that was on a little while ago about, one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest things missing in companies is vision, is where are we going and why are we going there? Mm-hmm. And those businesses that are really pushing it and really know where they're going. And that's one of the things I have my clients do. He came up with a technique that was called the painted picture, and then they changed it to something else, and I call it your charted course. And it's, I want to know where you want to be 3 years from now. If you can tell me what your company looks like 3 years from now, we can build it.
Right.
If you have no idea, we can't. And there's nothing we can do. So let's we're gonna get ready to go into our break here and going up. I'm gonna one more quick question. Let's go because I want to tell some cop stories next because I know you got some good ones. And I know there's some people. I know Elise Klausman is a friend of mine. She goes, "Oh my God, I got to listen to this. You guys are gonna be telling jokes the whole time." And we haven't done that yet, Elise. We'll bring that in the next section, but. Being a police officer and doing the things that you have to do. There's great things about it, and there's things that suck.
Mm-hmm. Like everything else.
Like everything else in the world. What was the best thing about being a cop?
The look on someone's face who really needed you when you popped out of that patrol car and you were there. That still brings a chill to me and still tears at my heart because there's that longing look of you're legitimately the knight in white shining your armor. Here you come in to save the day, and that's an incredible feeling.
Yeah, it is, and it's just really weird. A lot of what's going on. We got the politics going on, and it just really sucks. But I really appreciate your service and the things you did before, because like I said, my dad was a police officer too, and I really understand what a difficult job it is. It really is. You guys live it 24/7.
Yeah.
And so it's there. So thank you for that. So we're going to go step away, Jonathan, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about fun stuff after this.
Hi, this is Alberto Tudela. The Houston metro area has experienced a substantial increase of wind and hail damage, flooding, and other perils in the last 5 years. Now more than ever, it is critical and essential to ensure your company, your property, as well as your family have the right insurance coverage. Tudela Insurance Solutions offers a wide variety of insurance for home, auto, property, as well as life insurance. My goal is to find a tailored option that guarantees the right coverage at the right price, specific to your needs, present and future, so you protect what matters the most. Call me today at 713-714-4475 and allow our team at Tudela Insurance Solutions to make sure you're protected. Accidents never happen when we expect them. Now is the time to ensure you have peace of mind.
Hi, I'm Mike Mogel, the CEO of Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. A clean and disinfected space is essential to keeping your customers and your staff healthy, safe, and productive while preventing the spread of COVID-19. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with more than 20 years experience in janitorial, restaurant, post-construction, and floor maintenance cleaning. We really make it shine. We are focused on quality cleaning and wellness in our customer spaces. Our team is professionally trained to ensure not a spot is missed, and we use products that are safe for your property and your people. Our services are tailored to your individual needs and include expert floor care, dusting, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, detailing, glass cleaning, and deep disinfecting. Our experienced team is here to make your office as comfortable and clean as possible. Visit our website at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or call us today at 832-689-7996. Now that's a clean sweep.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hey, we're back. exactly. We're talking. None of us are paying attention.
Sorry.
That's the way this show goes. If you haven't figured it out. So this is the part of the show when Juan needs to listen, and we need to be able to bring in the cigars and now start talking. And Jonathan keeps giving me the I know we need to do this. All right, let's start talking about the fun. We talked about business, and you guys are successful. You guys are doing. How do people contact you? So what's the best way to contact you right now?
Cell phone number 832-435-0769.
Okay, and Buzz Storyteller Promotions.
Yep.
Is the way to go. Go to their website and do all this. So that's the important thing. All right. So you've been in business now for
11 years, yeah.
And we've been doing what we want. What was the end game? I mean, what's the fun part? Now you're getting to where you want to go. You're putting things over to your kids. You're letting them do that. Now you and Ruth get to go have fun. What's the fun thing for Mike and Ruth? And
the current plan is we are working on buying some property with some friends of ours out in the middle of nowhere, and we're gonna put a tiny house out there, build our own sauna and a few other things, and just spend our time hiking, camping, that type of stuff.
where in the country are you looking for?
Everywhere from Cleveland all the way over to Magnolia. We're kind of out in those areas.
Okay, nice. So have you stayed in a tiny house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I did it once for a weekend, and I was like, oh my God, this thing's small.
Yeah, we were shopping for RVs. We were going to live in an RV full time, and when we figured out that didn't make sense, we figured if we can live in an RV, we can, tiny houses.
Tiny house, the hell. There's some nice ones. I mean, you get out there, and there was a place that we went to a couple years ago where you could go rent one for the weekend, and they had several that were really, really nice. I just didn't. We looked at it, we thought it was kind of cool, but we weren't going to look at that little neighborhood kind of thing that they were selling.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. We have a philosophy. We live out of our house, not in our house.
Right.
So the size of the house where you're going to go in, we still tent camp. So
Yeah, no, it's little guy. He's ready to go camping and do all that fun stuff. So with the boys, I mean, how much time do you spend with the boys? How much you guys all together as a family, or because I haven't even seen your sons in a while. It's mostly you and Ruth I see out.
partly that is because they have grown up and starting to do their own thing now. They started their own company that was kind of a support company for us, and decided that just wasn't for them. So Matthew is working as a graphic artist and an installer for a sign company over in San Antonio. He moved in with his girlfriend over there, and Michael got married and is now living in Dallas, working for a commercial electric company. So
nice.
Does electric installs for multifamily residential stuff.
Cool, nice. So, all right, come on, let's go back to the cop stories. Those are always fun. Come on, I know you're gonna go, no, don't do that. Now I know you've told some really there's weird crap that happens. I mean, my dad told me this. Like, what's one of the weirdest things that ever happened when you were a cop?
Probably one of the most unique was I worked as a police officer in a college town where one of the young gentlemen that was going to school got a little frisky and wound up locking up another one of his friends in handcuffs and had to call the police because he didn't have the key.
So you couldn't get her out.
No, it was a little embarrassing for everybody involved. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta live with the cop. When I went to school in Central Michigan, we stole the coolers in the biology department because one of the teachers was going to take him, and we hated him. We just thought he was a jerk, and so we knew he was going on a thing in the afternoon. We were going to a football game, and we thought we'd have him back by then. But of course, starting at 10 o'clock, we start drinking at 9. The campus cops come driving by, and these are big yellow coolers, big igloo. They say CMU biology on them in big, maroon letters. And the officer comes by and he goes, those things were reported stolen this morning. They're not. They're right here.
No, we got them. Yeah,
we know exactly where they're at.
We know exactly where they are. Yeah.
And we're like, well, what do you guys? We got a lot of good stuff on the grill. What would you like? And we made more bratwurst and hot dogs and hamburgers for the CMU police force that day. We were just told they had to be back in the department by 3:30, and somehow, some way, we managed to get them back there by 3:30.
It's what you call creative law enforcement.
It's it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting. You know,
The problem was solved. That's all that counts. Nobody has to go to jail.
we didn't have to go to jail, and that's the good thing. We behaved as much as we could.
Sure.
And
Well, you're college kids. What do you expect to do? I mean, that's
we're gonna do stupid shit.
Right.
That's what it's all about. You know, it's one of the things you talk about today is how do we, you know, police officers get bad raps, but you guys do a lot of great things in the community. They're out there, and you know, kids. What did you do when you were an officer? You know, to go meet with the kids? Because I know my son, whenever he sees a police officer, he loves to go to the car. You know, meet the fire guys. Loves all that. So how did you, you know, get to know the community and the kids when you were doing that?
You know, I was still part of an age when you first graduated from the academy. You didn't get put in a patrol car. You didn't go through an FTO program. Mm-hmm. You got put on a foot post.
Okay.
You walked 2 square blocks, and you worked the same time of day, every day, same days of the week for the first 6 months. And everybody got to know you as Mike, the cop, not badge number such and such, right. Or I wasn't rolling up in a patrol car after something had already happened. I had an opportunity to really get to know the community and the people that lived there and worked there. It's good because you know who the bad guys are, you know who the good guys are, and it's a simple little game that everybody plays, but everybody's got their role. But yeah, that was probably the best thing that I ever had a chance to do was learn who people were and help before it became a problem.
Yeah, it seems like something now is you don't know who the officers are now.
Biggest mistake we ever did in law enforcement was put guys in a patrol car to have a radio to take them to problems because it's always reactive.
Yeah.
When it was still proactive and you had the ability to have people on foot. And working in the same community. When I was the college town I was working in San Marcos. I worked primarily the college district. In fact, I started off as a university police officer.
Yeah.
And you know, to me, it was college kids go to college, they drink beer, they do stuff, they have parties. And my thought was, I don't need to put you in jail because you drank too much. I need to get you in a car, and I need to get you home and get you safe in bed. You don't need to go to jail over this.
Right.
Yeah, there's other ways to do things.
Yeah, and that's great. But I love it, and what's going there because it was my growing up too. You know, everybody knew my dad. Everybody was there, and I think that was one of the bad things about being there because everybody knew your dad. They'd get in trouble. They needed a ticket fixed. Hey Frank, I was speeding the other day. You know, here, and all that stuff. But then we got some stuff up there of what we need to do. You know, with big communities right now, how do we go out and those of us that are business owners and understand that? How do we go back and help? Policing and everything we do is community. And
absolutely.
It's all of us. How do we as business owners go back and help our communities, no matter where we're at?
What I experienced was the support of the business community when I was doing that footwork. The business owners were the eyes and ears of the neighborhood. They saw everything. They knew everything.
They knew everything.
So if we could bridge that communication gap and get back out to the officers, Houston has a great program called the Positive Interaction Program, PIP, where you get a chance to meet with the local police officers on a regular basis. I think more business owners going to that.
I think we don't even know about it, though.
Really? Okay. Well, maybe that's something where maybe we can do something through the chamber. I don't know. We used to have the West Side PIP.
Yeah, it'd be great to do that because I knew a lot of my business owners that I've coached in the past. Restaurant owners, bar owners, and a lot of times they didn't meet the officers until somebody broke into their place.
And then it's too late.
Yeah.
Everybody's position has changed at that point. Where if you can get in there before something happens and it's a negative situation. I used to tell my guys when I got promoted, I said, nobody is going to pick up the phone and call you to come over and have milk and cookies because they just want to say hi.
Right.
You know, they're calling because there's a problem. So you're always negatively associated, whether it's good or bad. It's a bad point in somebody's life, so you're negative. So if we can get out there before something negative happens, and they realize that there's a human being on the side of the badge, that he has wife, kids, you know.
That so much happens now as everything is. People look at TV and say, my wife did that. You know, it's, hey, why didn't they shoot this guy in the leg? It's like, that's not what you're trained to do. You know, I think everybody should have to go through one of those training.
Citizen Police Academy.
And go through that.
Shoot, don't shoot.
Shoot, don't shoot. Oh, my God. My dad took me through that. It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I killed 3 innocent people the first time I did it. And it is so hard to do it. All right, so Jonathan's telling us we got 3 minutes left. So we got Mike Malin, who owns Storyteller Promotions. Mike, you're going to give one piece of advice now to every business owner. What's the one thing that they need to do besides hire me? He didn't even freaking laugh at that. Interlead.
I'm a quiet laugher, man.
Yeah, I gotta see that. Yeah, I've been there.
So one piece of advice, I'm gonna steal from Simon Sinek. Know your why. If you do not know why you're in business, I don't think you can play the long game. And that's really what it's all about, is playing the long game. I like the idea of looking at my business like I would as a marathon runner or a golf player. You know, you're playing the long game. You're trying to, don't worry about your competition. Don't try to beat somebody else. Just get better at what you do every single time you do it.
Yep.
You'll get there. You will get there.
Yeah, I love it. I think if you focus on how you get better each and every day, I think too many business owners don't. There's, how do I, like just you said, how do I beat this guy? How do I do this? Don't worry about them.
No.
Don't worry about them. Oh, the only person
they'll beat themselves.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the kind of thing that we got there. So, Jonathan, we're about ready to wrap this thing up. All right, man. Well, Mike, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have you on again. You know, because I want to get more next time into psychology behind kind of the things you do. But I think it was a great introduction. People getting to know you. Thank you so much. This is Michael Razor, your business guide. Teach your business to fish. Look us up on the internet. Call us. Redfish season's coming up. We're going to try to put together some stuff here in the next couple of weeks to go out there with wave dancers and go catch some big fish. You guys have a great one. Stay out of the 110-degree heat or whatever it is out there. And have a good one. And come smoke a cigar with us.
Awesome.